Like, we aren't as lovey-dovey.
But you're not in no buddy zone, are you?
No.
Do you want him to try?
Yes.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. She take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's trifling, friend indeed. And you know what time it is. We're talking about married at first sight. So guys, you already know we're like family in the comment section, so make sure you leave a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the episode number 5. I want to start off with a bang straight away, guys. So we are going to go back onto this topic about who should provide in the relationship. And do you know what? I knew it was going to come up. So let's just go to it, straight to it, yeah? Will and Jasmine are sitting on the sofa. Pastor Chris, or whatever his name is, comes in, sits down with them, asks them some questions. Now, let's deal with the first subject, which was finances. Have you guys discussed finances? And they said, yeah, we discussed that a little bit. And, Jasmine said we settled on 60-40 in the end. And I knew straight away that Pastor was not feeling that straight away because his face changed.
Talking about it more, we got to like 60-40. So it was kind of
60 which way?
like 60 men, 40. So
Okay. Is that where you are now?
I think so.
Yeah, we're at 60-40.
Okay, I hear you. But here,
And that's when he went to ask a question.
I hear you. But here's the deal. You're an assistant director,
Yeah.
which means you may very well be making more money than him.
Yeah.
But you still want him to take care of more of the bills.
He's a man.
So, what does that have to do with...
That would be like me saying you're the woman, you should be in the kitchen barefoot and pregnant.
That's fine.
Well, I don't even know how to come back from that, honestly.
But to ask him to say, okay, but Jasmine, if you are, you are an assistant director, potentially you could be earning more than obviously, my guy here will. And what was her response?
Tell me why.
Like I came from a traditional background. Like a man handling majority of the bills. My dad was like that man who kind of did that. My mom was the caretaker, cleaned, cooked, just took care of the household, and my dad.
Oh, and he asked though, like, why do you feel the way you do? Oh, because he's the man. And what I tell you guys in the last video, I said, listen, marriage is not about he's the man, he's the girl. I expect him to do this, I expect him to do that. It's about teamwork. And I think a lot of you in the comment section got it wrong. You was like, yeah, the man should pay in regards to the situation we're talking about. The man should always pay more, What, in this day and age, there are a lot of black females earning more than black males. You know what I'm saying? And I to conform yourself to a traditional gender role, which, by the way, I big it up, Jasmine is willing to do, because when he tried to flip it by saying, that's like me telling you, go into the kitchen as a woman pregnant and still cook for me. And she said, well, I would. And I believe that she would. I believe the way she said, because she's held that particular front for a little while. But the truth of the matter is, nature of relationships must be flexible. If you're trying to make a marriage work, you must be flexible. It may come a time that you may not earn, I may not earn more than my wife. Look, and I'm a guy as well that tells you this. Look, as for me, if the gap in terms of pay between two people was too huge, I wouldn't get involved in that relation. Here's why. Unless I've got plans that are looking to supersede her in finances or at least match her, we are in 2 different social circles. 1, we 2 have different spending budgets. 3, money is power, and then within a relationship, you want as little as possible power struggles. Money will be a power struggle, and I just don't want that beef. Now, someone might say it's a bit shallow, but let me tell you this, because when you're earning a lot, and I'm talking about a big gap between 2 people, the mindset's completely different. Don't ever misrepresent what I'm saying. Deep it. When I say, listen, when someone earns far too much, the difference in terms of social circles, the mentality, the way they think, the way they go about things, it can be, in most cases, completely different, and that is where problems arise. Now, that doesn't mean you have to be agree on everything, because you're human beings. You're not going to agree on everything, but there are some key things in relationship. For instance, finances. You need to be on point together. Yeah, when it comes to finances, what are we doing with our kids? You need to be on point with what we're doing with our kids. How we're going to discipline them, how we're going to look after them, how we're going to rear them. These are key things because these are the key things that split people up. You know what I'm saying? Cool. So back to the thing. So when Jasmine obviously said, look, because he's a man, and she pushed him as well, like, man, and da-da-da. And then she had to get addressed by a pastor, and rightly so. He questioned it, saying, obviously, look, but, you earn more. And two, like, why are you focusing on that? And here's my point. I understand why Jasmine focused in on the man being a provider. And it's less about, just wanting to take the man's money. It's actually more about the fact if you've seen something work, she's seen her parents work, as a marriage, and she admires the way that works. So therefore, what she's doing is called translating. She translates what she's seen there into what she's seeing in her into what she wants to do in her relationship. Because she's seen marriage work out, she's transforming that into a relationship. I think that Will didn't fight as hard because he hasn't seen a positive relationship with his parents to transport it into the new relationship. Whereas Jasmine has. And so therefore her strength in her reasoning, even though I don't agree with it, is that she's seen a positive relationship. So therefore that's why she keeps going on hard, like he's a man. And at first I didn't really understand it, but I deeped it today by when she explained the fact that, that's how her parents did it. I know she said it before, but now I fully deeped it. She's translating. So she's just taking what she's seen over here that works and bring it into a relationship. Unfortunately, you have to, when you're translating something, you have to take into account the times and take into account that relationships in terms of dynamics are not the same across the board. Meaning your parents' relationship could differ from your relationship. Not only that, your relationship from your parents could be different from someone else's parents' relationship. So therefore, we've got to be able to compare.
If you will.
So, but here's the deal. Who's to say that that's the best way for it to be?
Yeah, true.
I mean, every marriage has to find its own norm. And what becomes normal for you as you work it out may be something that looks completely different from another couple that's doing their thing. Right. So get out of the traditional thing, girl.
I am. I'm trying.
There's got to be a leniency, a flexibility about our plan. And so what I saw in this particular interaction was the fact that, even when Pastor addressed her and then said, you need to get out of this general sin. Yeah, I am. But in the cutscene, she says she's struggling to get out of it, and I understand. That's why, it's not a bash thing. It's more of a case of I didn't understand at first why she was so hard on this, and I kind of felt in my heart this girl's gonna earn more money than him. And the reason why I said I felt that she was gonna earn more money than him is in the first episode. I don't know if you remember. She said the first thing she introduced herself was with, "I have a house, I have a car, and whatever, a job, great job." She introduced herself, and if you guys have watched me since the days of Ready to Love, you know how I feel about the way people introduce themselves. When I was saying about Dr. Lexi and Alex, and I said to her, like, why did Dr. Lexi lead with her PhD? I've got a PhD. We don't give a damn as a man. I don't give a trash coos. You understand? Like, what are you going to bring to my table? Like, what's your character saying? What's your personality saying? How do you feel about certain things? I don't care about your doctorate. You know what I'm saying? No offense. I know you've worked hard for that, but I don't care about that. How are we going to complement each other? That's me taking it to black and white. But the truth of the matter is, that is how a lot of people males are going to be thinking about a relationship, which is, what do you do to add to me? Add to the relationship. And how do we complement each other in this relationship? Because I don't want beef. I ain't got time for beef. You know what I'm saying? And if your PhD gets in the way of you understanding that, then I don't need to be with you. And I feel like Will and Jasmine, because Will is a bit more calmer, a bit more chilled, a bit more analytical, he's not putting up as much of a fight. But eventually, if Jasmine wants to carry down this route, there will be beef between the two. You understand? So deep it. Watch the whole procession between Pastor Chris, Will and Jasmine. Will's actually very, very quiet. He makes an initial joke at the beginning, but then he comes very, very quiet. Why is he quiet? Because he's been here before. The conversation they're having about the finances has been there before. And what? It's said and done. Jasmine already had her say and won. So for him, it's like, bro, I'm not going to say anything. But when Pastor Chris was addressing it, he turned when Pastor Chris asked her, and he was looking at her like, expecting like, yo, I done told you, but you didn't want to listen to me.
Well, okay, I hear you. But here's the deal. You're an assistant director.
Yeah. Which
means you may very well be making more money than him.
Yeah.
But you still want him to take care of more of the bills.
He's a man.
So, what does that have to do with...
So, I can tell that Will was Will was, I wouldn't say thankful, but he appreciated the fact that someone else had another perspective to look at the situation and kind of backed his point and play. Now, I know a lot of you in the comment section will be saying, I want a man to provide. I need a man to provide. He's not a man if he doesn't provide. Some of you were putting that in the comment section, which was, was like I said, a man is not just a provider financially, but hey, I want a man to provide. And, now we're asking that question. What do you do when you earn more than your man? Ladies and gentlemen, let's answer that question down below. What do you do? Are you now the provider because you earn more money in the relationship? Should Jasmine now pay more in the relationship because she earns more? Or should, my man keep on paying more just because he's a man? There you go. Exit of teamwork. Some of you don't believe in teamwork, baby. But your family to me, so I've got love for you. I will move on to the next point, which was about the sex issue. Now, for me, it's quite deep. What have I got talking for? Okay, the sex issue. The sex issue is quite deep. And the reason why I say that because I look at Will and I look at Jasmine, and Jasmine mentioned that, we're not very lovey-dovey, and I think...
Have you guys consummated the marriage?
No.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. He and I are weird. Like, we aren't as lovey-dovey.
But you're not in no buddy zone, are you?
No.
That's more on Will's side. That I think he's not necessarily a touchy-feely kind of guy, but Jasmine is. And I say that because...
Stuff about my wife. Just to go to a deeper level, it doesn't have to be physical. So, you can kind of explore a person's mind and really get to know who they are. You were cooking every night.
I was.
Comfortability in the bed. 2, there's some moments where she strokes his beard as well. When they're talking in the kitchen about who's lived with who, whatever, about living with the exes. And then she kind of does this thing where she goes and strokes the beard. So she's comfortable with physical touch. It's him. It's Will. Now, I'm not blasting Will because actually, the same point, Pastor, what's going on, Pastor?
Eventually, it's like, okay, this is becoming sort of like very friendly because you guys get along. The friend zone is a dangerous place to be if you want to start a family. This is not let's meet a friend at first sight. It's let's get married at first sight. Let's build a life together. Let's build a future. Let's make a family. And if they don't quickly get out of this little friend space that they're in and start acting as though they're married, children may not be an option for the two of them.
How come you're so quick on? I know they're married and that, but even though they're married in terms of paper, their minds are not married. This is the problem. So although on paper you are married, psychologically, you're not married to each other because actually you're just getting to know each other. And so therefore, someone like Will maybe potentially, because he's analytical, because he's a bit of an introvert, wants to take it a bit slow. And I actually support that. The reason why I support that is because we are building a dynasty in our relationship and I want to get to know you. I don't want to get to know your body. I want to get to know you. Sex confuses things. And I'm a person that believes in celibacy. So for me, I believe that a relationship should have a period of celibacy where you are just getting to know each other. Now for us who are singletons, your celibacy point might take 6 months, 9 months, 12 months before you get married, whatever. But you've had time to get to know the person. These people have had a week, and pastor's like, you married, you can now have sex. You've known each other for a week, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even encourage that in the world, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? So, pastor, can we chill a little bit? Can we just let them be? So, for me, I know that it may seem a bit odd. I am not going to lie, though. Everybody is different. Now, if I got married on paper, I'm about to get it in. I'm about to get it in. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to take it along as well. I want to take it a lot. Some of these couples, man, I would have been trying to get it in the first night. Because as for me, once I'm locked in and loaded into the marriage, Charlie, it's time to dive in. I wanna dive in. Splash. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it wouldn't have been different, but that's because maybe that's the way I am. You understand? So I totally understand Will's point of view, which is to take it slow and just kind of just feel the relationship, feel what you're getting from her. And like I said, people have got love languages. And I've noticed Will's love language is quality conversation. And I've said this, and I'll say it for the 3rd time. I don't think that Jasmine fully listens to him when he's talking. When I say listens, what I mean by it is actively listening and asking. We call it a technique called stemming, right? And stemming means basically to kind of ask the why question. So if I say to you, I like the color blue. Now someone should stem the conversation. Oh, you like the color blue? Why do you like the color blue? Do you know what? I don't even know why, but when I was young, I just like the sky, the color sky. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's. something about it speaks to me. And someone might go on, oh, okay, like which part of it speaks to you? Like, is there a particular part that speaks to you, or has something in the past happened that links you to Blue? I'm like, alright, no, do you know what it is? I don't know, you know. I don't know, something speaks about Blue. I feel this mood about me, I got an emotion about me. The person might go, oh, you got, okay, what emotions do you feel? I feel like calm and chill. Stemming is about asking that why question. Okay, why this? Why that? Okay, you said this, but why that? Do you know what I'm saying? Stemming is the why question. And so I feel like and like I said, Will alluded to it in the last episode where he said, I need Jasmine to kind of get to know me more. I think what he's really saying is I need Jasmine to ask me questions, B. Because you see, look at the AJ and Stephanie situation. They're going to run out of steam very soon if AJ doesn't allow Stephanie to talk. AJ talks too much. Too much. And when I say too much, it's because when you're talking so much, you're not asking questions. You know, when you're talking that much, you're not asking questions. So when it looks at Will and Jasmine, and I feel a lot of people do this anyway, they don't know how to stem. So when they're listening to you, they then reply with something. It's called active listening. Then they reply with something to kind of like show you, I understand what you're saying, but they've replied with something and taken you out of the talking phase, and now they're talking. You know what I'm saying? Or they change the subject. And so with active listeners, someone like Will, you know, if your love language is quality conversation, which I feel like it is for him, quality conversations, then
there's no difference between like girls I've dated in the past and me being married and the speed that I'm moving. I always try to get to know a person. They want to feel like they're not an object and just a piece of meat.
So, I mean, then we're fine then.
In order to feel the love, because he said he's felt like he's getting there, he's getting to fall in love, but in order to feel that deep love, the person needs to speak to the quality conversations part of you. They need to speak to the part where quality time, I should even say, is important. Like he said, they're getting to know each other, they're nurturing that love, and he said he takes it slow like this. Quality time is the most important thing to Will in the love language. If she can speak that language, he will begin to pep up in the sexual bedroom quicker than he's doing right now, putting his foot on the down pedal. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why people pump brakes on is because they're not sure. So that Will said at the end, he said, you know, he's got barriers up from the past relationships.
Got you. So I do hope I fall in love with my wife, Jasmine, but
It's not easy for me to fall in love just because of barriers that I've put up because of past relationships, and I don't think anything worth having should come easy. So, I mean, I think it should be work for the other party, as I think it should be work for me to make someone fall in love with me.
And I want to know what kind of barriers he's got up. Instant stemming. You see, I want to know why. So, for guys, let me end on this conclusion. You know, Will's got these barriers up, you know, and in order to be able to reveal what's behind those barriers, we need to ask some not systematic, but we need to ask some genuine questions that will begin to pull information from him. And so if you're in a relationship, let me put it this way, if you're in a relationship, you need to be able to get to a point where you're stemming conversation. Why? You know, and a lot of people are not good at this, and this is why a lot of us who maybe, if you've got a love language, which is quality time and quality conversations, or quality activity, quality time and quality conversations, you suffer a lot when you talk to people. In fact, a lot of people I've met, when they've got quality time and quality conversation as their love language, they are suffering. And the reason why they're suffering is because they don't meet other people who are like that. Because all other people else are just taking. They're never depositing, meaning they're never really listening to the other person. So when you're a person who listens well, you always get abused. And then other people don't know how to ask the genuine question. They're like, yeah, I asked you a question, but you're not stemming. You see, if you jump from question to question, it's not a natural flow. So when he said, obviously, I've got a lot of barriers up, you know, my first one would have been like, bro, like, okay, like, oh, how was your past relationships? Okay, like, you know, my last relationship was, it was alright. It's like, okay, like, you didn't really sound too positive. Look how, even if he's giving me a one-word answer, I'm picking up the emotion. Okay, you didn't really sound too positive. Why did you say it's I? Oh, you know, I don't know, it's just relationships are a little bit difficult. Okay, which part of relationships are difficult in regards to the fact that, you know, your ex, you spoke about the past relationship? Stem the conversation. Pick up little points. But again, it's a grace of God. You know this stuff because this is my love language, so I can flow with that. But if you're in a relationship, start learning how to stem, because that will get the conversation flowing, and that will get you to open up and get the person to open up, and that will get you to draw information you've never drawn from them before. People tell me their life stories, bro. Like on a train. People tell me their life stories at work. People tell me their life stories wherever I am, because I stem. because they're not used to people stemming the conversation out of them. So when they start to get stemmed at, they're not even sure what's going on. They say, I'm sorry for even talking. It's not me. It's God's given gift that I can stem the conversation so you feel comfortable to speak. So guys, get yourself in that place and begin to stem your relationship so that you can pull information out. And like I said, let's end on this point. Concluding, guys, I done told you already that Jasmine has to pay more. I'm just saying it. She's earning more. Potentially, she better pay more. What's your thoughts? Let me know down below. Like, share, subscribe, baby. You already know what time it is. Woo!